Gary Maurer from Green Pro Solutions, and today we're talking about a very special product called Bio-Aer. It's one product of a series of products produced by a sister company, Nature's Pro, specializing in plant-sourced organic products. Bio-Aer is a very unique product in that it is a plant-sourced surfactant. The surfactant takes the tension, the surface tension of liquids, and breaks it down so it's much slipperier. In other words, it slides through, in this case, soil much more easily. I have a photograph here that shows you the results of that. This is a picture from a baseball field. This is a soil probe with 15 inches of soil in it, and at the very bottom you can see some grass roots coming through the bottom of the 15 inches of soil. The top 3 inches is topsoil, the bottom 12 inches is clay. If I were to pull this out and ball it up in my hands, by tomorrow it would be a solid rock, as hard as this table. How do you get roots to grow that deep? Well, you cannot do it with mechanical equipment, but our organic equipment does a great job. Our organic product does a great job with that by changing the surface tension of the liquids that are going down into the soil and creating small openings and fissures for water and air to get down that deep in order for the roots to grow that deep. In other words, you can only get roots to grow 15 inches deep if you have air at that depth in the soil, hence the name Bio-Aer. Now we're going to take a few minutes and actually demonstrate how this product works by breaking down the surface tensions of liquids. We're actually going to take water, a liquid fertilizer product, one of our Bio-Turf products, a special product just for turf, and Bio-Aer, and show you how all those products can be impacted by the use of Bio-Aer plant-sourced surfactant. On this table we have 4 different products, and you can see that we have labels on each of these pieces of cardboard. The cardboard represents a very hard soil, so this will give us a good indication of how absorptive a heavily compacted soil might be, because this is a good replication of that. First I'm going to put water down here, and that's going to just 1 drop, and you'll see that the water just stays on top of the cardboard. It doesn't sink into it all. And we're going to use a little time-lapse photography today so that you're going to see that over a period of time it still won't sink into the cardboard. The next thing I'm going to put on is a drop of our special foliar fertilizer. Now this is a food-grade product with micronutrients in it. It's extremely absorptive into the surfaces of leaves, but as you can see, as a liquid, it still has a very high surface tension and stays in a bubble on top of the cardboard. The next product I'm going to put down is a product called Bio-Turf. This is another Nature's Pro product, and it actually has some plant-sourced surfactants in it, along with all kinds of other great organic ingredients. And you can see that spreads out much, much more readily than either the water or the 9-18-9 foliar product, but it still is somewhat bubbled up on top of the cardboard. And the last product we're going to put is the actual Bio-Aer. This has a much higher concentration of the plant-based surfactants in it. As we said, things that make liquids slippery, and you can see how readily that spreads out across the cardboard. What you can't see is underneath that drop, it's already sinking into the cardboard. Okay, we're back with you. We've had 30 minutes of elapsed time, and if we look at the drops that we put out for each of the products, we can see that really nothing changed with the water. It still looks like it was when we originally put the drop on the cardboard. Same with the 9-18-9 foliar fertilizer. You can see where that static cling, as it were, is holding that drop together. And if you move over to your right, here you can see the Bio-Turf. Hasn't changed very much, but you can see it's It's not bubbled up nearly as much as the other two liquids are, so it has spread out somewhat. And the Bio-Aer is spread out a little bit more. The BioTurf has some plant-based surfactants in it, although not nearly to the extent that the Bio-Aer does. If somebody uses BioTurf or our BioTree and shrub product on a consistent basis, there probably should be enough surfactants in there to accomplish the soil loosening that they would like to accomplish over a period of time. But if you need an extra amount of soil conditioning and surfactants in the soil, then of course you can add Bio-Aer either by itself or you can add it with any of these other products. Now what I'm going to do is take some Bio-Aer and add it back into the water and to the foliar, and you can see what happens as soon as I add this to the water. It will immediately disperse. The surface tension will immediately break down. See how that broke down immediately as soon as I put this product on there. The same will happen with the 9-18-9 foliar. It will immediately disperse. And I'm going to also add some to the BioTurf over here. So we'll add more surfactants to a product that already has some surfactants in it. And you can see it's spreading out a little bit more. And I'll just put another drop here, so each of them will have 2 drops of product. One of the original product and then one of the Bio-Aer. Bio-Aer has a number of other ingredients, as I said, organic ingredients to make it a very high quality product. Humic acids, kelps, surfactants, and so forth. So it's a high quality product and has a number of other ingredients that are very valuable in addition to the plant-based surfactants that are part of it. If you go all the way back over to the left here, you can see how that Bio-Aer with just 1 drop of water changed the surface tension significantly, how it spread out across the cardboard. The other thing we need to understand about hard soils is this, that hard soils occur for a couple of different reasons. Certainly if there's a lack of moisture, they can get very hard. Oftentimes though, it's the composition of the ingredients in the soil that give you really compacted soils. And it's because typically of high clay content. And also, if you're running construction equipment over it, or if it's a soccer field or something, or a football field that gets a huge amount of volume of traffic over it. Certainly if you go to an area, a public building, a college campus, a schoolyard or something where you see students track the same track time after time and they wear away the grass, that's going to be a severely compacted area too. But we have to understand that soils have a certain covalent structure around each of the molecules, and those molecules are attracted to each other. Certain molecules attract much more strongly than others, and in particularly compacted soils, that covalent bonding is extremely strong. So if you use a mechanical means of separating those soil particles, the chemical bonds for those soil partners are going to gradually bring those particles back together. So a mechanical means of aeration is very temporary. Oftentimes only 30 to 60 days, and then the advantage is totally gone unless you've replaced, if you've taken a core of soil out and you replaced it with some other kind of soil that has different covalent properties, then you can actually begin to modify that magnetic process that actually makes soils very hard. So there are different ways of doing it. Certainly this particular process, the soil plant surfactant, the plant-based soil surfactant, is very cost-effective. You can use it in all kinds of areas where radial trenching, air spading, and other kinds of mechanical processes are not appropriate. Thanks for joining us today, and we wish you well. Remember us, when you have a particular problem, we'd be happy to help you solve it. I'm Gary Maurer with Green Pro Solutions.